Welcome to TopBranch, a series from the Dove Agency, where we're rooted in stability and reaching for growth. Join the Dove Agency and our special guests as we bring you expert insights and practical solutions to help your interior design business thrive. This is TopBranch. Let's grow together.
Hi, everyone. We are back for another episode of TopBranch.
We're together this time.
That's right. I'm Ruth and Janson.
I'm Beth Bender.
And we are here today. We are going to talk about something. This actually comes up quite a bit. We have clients, dozens and dozens of interior designers primarily as our clients. And many of them, their business structure is a partnership or one or more people that are the business owners. And so we get advice a lot of times when people are in that stage of, I've had my own business for a while and I'm looking to possibly bring one or two more people into that. In some ownership structures, these all vary. We're not getting into that nitty gritty. It's just more the idea of how to navigate a business partnership. And in addition to advising our clients on this, we also at the Dove Agency have 3 owners in our company. And so we have some personal experience to add into this mix as well.
Absolutely. And that's why we kind of needed to be sitting next to each other.
Yes, I think it's much more authentic.
Exactly. But when we started the partnership for the Dove Agency, I will say it has worked spectacularly because we made the decision that, we weren't going to necessarily look for somebody who just had skills that we didn't have, but instead look for somebody that matched our energy. And when Kenda and I first started the business, we matched each other's energy. It was wonderful. And when we realized we definitely wanted to bring in a third partner, trying to find somebody to match that same energy, that same excitement, that same desire to meet the goals that we wanted to meet, that's what we looked for. And what was great about it is when you do that, you most often can find out that you each have individual areas of genius or each have individual areas of, expertise. And so that's where it's really fun as a partnership to then start kind of divvying up the work a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this kind of prepping a little bit, very little bit. These are mostly impromptu. But one of the things we were talking about is how it's that energy that's irreplaceable. You can hire skills, but the energy itself, that's a thing that it's either there or it's not.
Right.
And so to get kind of specific, we like to have these little practical takeaways here. 3 kind of things to be thinking about if you're in this, kind of mode of possibly bringing somebody into your business is, somebody that is going to be energized in areas that deplete you, like they like sales calls and you like to grind behind your computer looking at numbers. That might be one example. I think the other thing is, you're going to have a lot of trust.
Yes.
And so that's something that was nice in our case because we were all, our social and friends outside of work. And so there was already some trust there. I think that that's probably the hardest one to, have hitting the ground running if you're bringing in somebody brand new and you haven't known them previously. So that one is something that obviously takes some time. And then the third thing is, bringing in somebody that is you're not going to be afraid to tell each other when they're maybe wrong or to basically disagree. You have to be able to do those things or it's not going to work.
Absolutely.
Because there's going to be lots of disagreements.
Yes. And it's how you handle them. It's can you do it in a way that's like you just said, trustworthy, and you already have that foundation there.
Right. And I think one of the things too is, we wanted to talk through an example of if you bring somebody in and maybe some tasks and some roles are sort of shifting around. And one of the things we were talking about was the sales calls at the Dove Agency. So let's go into that for a minute.
So when we started the Dove Agency, I was doing pretty much all of the new client acquisition. I was the one having the first conversation with any new clients that were coming into the agency. And so, when Ruth Ann came along, it was natural at that point because she was taking on the role of president. She was handling really all these client relationships once they were onboarded and hit the ground running. And so it became a much more natural task for Ruth Ann to start having that first conversation. And that was something that I really enjoyed. I loved having those conversations. But you have to look at the organization and say, well, what is best for the organization? And then look and say, hey, you know what? Here's somebody that both matches the energy that's needed for that particular task and we'll do a great job of it. And you kind of have to let it go and go, it's okay. I don't
This
have
gets
to be
into
doing this.
the no ego thing.
Exactly.
But then on the flip side of that, just as the kind of the recipient of this new task that somebody else had been, fulfilling before, it's also not having ego and not being afraid to ask questions like, how did you handle this before? I mean, even if you're coming in as an owner and have experience and you're obviously able to lead a business, it doesn't mean that you don't ask questions and you are too prideful to say, the sales call went a little south. How have you handled that in the past? And examples of also people that are still reaching out to you because you're, obviously one of the founders and you were there at the onset when all these sales calls were happening. And that's happened multiple occasions where people reached out to you and we've had to kind of tag team things.
Yep. I mean, it just happened probably a couple months ago. I had somebody call me who I had a call with them 5 years previously, and they weren't ready to outsource their work at that time. And so when they called me back, and 5 years later, they called my number that we had talked on when we had our call. And so it came to me personally. And, you can't be so rigid and have such strong boundaries that you say, oh, that's not my job anymore. You can't talk to me. You got to call somebody else. You got to call my partner. You have to be a little bit more flexible and say, you know what, this is a previous relationship that I had the conversation. I enjoyed having that conversation. It was fun to kind of get to do that again. But then when I hung up, I called Ruth Ann and was able to say, Ruth Ann, listen,
we're going to tag team
this.
Right. And I think just along those lines, it's basically the idea that other people can do things as well as you can. Like that's like something we hate to admit.
Exactly.
But the truth is, if you have gotten to the point where you've vetted this person and they're checking all the boxes and you're considering bringing them into your business, you are going to have to kind of step back a little bit and be willing to let some of those things fall on another person's plate. But again, with the idea that there's continual collaboration and nobody is too rigid in their lanes to either not take on a task or to give something up. And especially when, well, the sales is a different example, but there is times when you might not want to give something up. So let's like navigate that and how we've handled that.
Yep. I mean, I think that with me, especially going to a position of more of, a support to you and in that partner role, there were some things like we've been working really hard on AI at this moment. And so there's some things with that I actually really enjoy and I want to do. And so I've been able to say, hey, I get a lot of joy out of doing this. Can I take this and run with it and take ownership of this? And I think that's where, if you're not coming in and saying, I'm taking this because, I don't think you're going to do a good enough job on it, or I'm going to be better at it. Instead, it gives me joy. And
we want each other to have joy in their job.
Yeah, that's where I think you can navigate that with your partner, is understanding that, you do want to find that enjoyment in your work and in what you do.
And I think just to kind of close too, I mean, with so many, solopreneurs, I've had so many conversations with them, and it is a hard decision to bring somebody on or to stay kind of towing the road yourself. But it is a very lonely lonely path, right? If you're owning the company by yourself, and even if you're surrounded by a team of 5 or 7 or 9, nobody really is ever going to care about that business as much as the owners do. And so like, that's kind of my perspective of a little bit of a loose encouragement to, if this is even like in your realm of considering, pursue it. And if somebody is presented to you in a way where you're like, maybe that individual would be, a good person to bring in, don't push that back and immediately dismiss that because you've been doing something by yourself for so long, because there is so much kind of joy in the collaboration and in having those conversations with the other individuals that care as much as you do. And it is lonely by yourself. Like when either one of us aren't available, it's harder and it's lonelier. Exactly. And we're all like trying to kind of, do this together and, be the best we can be.
Absolutely. So I hope that gives you some encouragement as you think about going forward and either making the partnership that you have even better, or trying to look for a new partner. So we have a little quote. You want to do our quote?
Sure. Okay. I love quotes. Well, I think you should do it because I was rambling and we were kind of like, we're trying to like be equal here.
Okay. Oh gosh, that's such a good part.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even.
There we go. All right. I can do, this is from Mother Teresa,
is
by the
so-
way.
I love this.
Yeah, I love this
Yeah.
quote. This is Mother Teresa. I can do things you cannot. You can do things I cannot. Together we can do great things.
Yes.
So there's your encouragement for the day. All right.
See y'all
Thanks,
next
guys.
time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The Dove Agency is committed to services that ensure your financial stability and growth. As part of our dedication to the design industry, we present ID Nest, a powerful software solution for designers. Built by industry experts, it integrates financial insights, project and task management, time tracking, CRM, and marketing tools to streamline workflow and power your designs. Join us next time on TopBranch. And in the meantime, to learn more, visit idnest.com.